Yes. So let us start with a interactive and discussion-friendly panel discussion. So let us start with train operators and with NS. Thijs, you were one of the key players and one of the people who said to NS, we have to invest in Hardt Hyperloop. I think it was a long time ago. 6 years ago, I think.
2017.
Why you invested? Was it only because Maas is a friendly guy, or he is also from Holland, or why you did that step as a train operator?
Well, to be quite honest, Martin, it was before my time working at NS.
Really?
But I have to be honest.
Okay.
But we had a visionary leader back then. He's now, by the way, gone. But he said, we need to look forward, right? So we are a 180 years old company. And at the same time, we created a fund to invest in companies that actually build on making the future of mobility. And this is exactly what we did. Hardt, by that time, just won the competition in America. And we actually one of the two first investors back in 2017. So the main goal for that is actually to show that we are actually connected with the future, but at the same time exchange knowledge and work together.
Wow. And it was not only just 20,000 euro, it was a little bit much more with more zeros?
Yes, 300,000 euros.
Wow, in the starting point. Wow.
Starting point, yes.
Congratulations that you did it and that you
Thanks.
That
we're very happy.
Great support. On the other side, Dieter, you jumped in. We are fighting for Deutsche Bahn also that we will invest in Hyperloop startups. Why is it so hard and why we are losing so many hairs over the years?
Yeah, well, thanks. That's a good question. I think, well, probably the main reason why we are not yet invested in one or all of the Hyperloop developers is the reason that, well, unfortunately, we do have quite some own problems with our ongoing, issues with punctuality and our transport in the network itself, which is a bit system immanent. We kind of, due to the open access to the German network, we kind of invite everybody who wants to run a train, and if there is a theoretical slot, then the train will be on the network. And in that way, we have a mixed traffic system, so we have slow trains, high-speed trains. They kind of all disturb each other, because it's like, imagine running on a highway with 300 kilometers per hour, and then the truck pulls over in front of you. So this is what we have basically all the time on our network. And we are trying to deal with, mastering the disaster. But at the moment, the infrastructure, which is also aging and where we have not been able to invest for a very long time, but now this investment all comes at the same time, so we have construction sites everywhere, is basically what we face at this moment. So we do have at the moment other issues to solve first in order to provide a decent transport in the existing network. And that's why so far, of course, like in some of the groups, actually in all of the groups in DB, we're looking at the systems. We're quite well aware what is going on in the market, and we're also trying to support, but we were not yet able to get that through our board to actually pass one of the rounds of the investment into some of the groups. But I have to say my personal opinion is clearly that this will change the future, and in that sense, yeah, I'm looking forward to this discussion.
Thank you. Yep. Fabien, you were one of the key players from SNCF who said that you will, and you invested already in Virgin Hyperloop. What was your motivation? Why you did it?
Yes, it was also a long time ago. It was not in 2017, but in 2016, I think. At a very early stage of development, it was an investment in Virgin Hyperloop. It was Hyperloop 1 at that time. And yes, the aim was to be on board this disrupting technology to see what is it, can it be a reality? What is behind the dream? What can we do with that? And at that time, in 2016, so we attended the propulsion open air test at that Pierre just put some picture on it in the screen at the first keynote. And then now we are during these years we exchanges we have exchanges, technical exchanges, but also exchanges about what is the operating process, how we can put this prototype into a system of transport. And of course, we don't put or we don't learn or bring knowledge to Hyperloop about the core technologies, about magnetic levitation, etc. What we can or what we bring to them is our experience of operator. It's not just to go faster or to go. It's to how do we handle about disruptive or not disruptive, the disruption in traffic. To emphasize the fact that maintenance is key, that OPEX is key. All these things. So I think that was our major input to them. And yes, we are still convinced that Hyperloop will have a future, that it will become a reality. At the moment, I don't know if it will become a reality as Nevomo proposed. You see like a migration technology, or if it will be a brand new thing, a new infrastructure. We'll see, but we think that it will create something new in the future. So let's see.
Thank you. Mars, from the other side or perspective, you are raising every year a lot of money. You are looking also,
the hope. Yeah.
And you are doing a great job with the money. It's not only that you are investing in clothes that me. You are investing in other stuff, Hyperloop technology and the way forward in the future of mobility. What is your wish right now when you are speaking with Deutsche Bahn, SNCF, NS, and others? What is your wish from your perspective?
So your first question was why invest or not? That would actually not be my first wish. I think the most important part, and that's why I showed the network image, because it takes so long to plan infrastructure, and new infrastructures and new upgrades are being planned all the time. And my main wish, my main question is that the rail operators, the local governments, the state governments, all acknowledge Hyperloop as a real option for the long term. Yeah? So it's not like, okay, we have to start building it now. Let's look for a short route somewhere, sure. But also, let's take it to an option for any of those projects that will take many years to develop. Because if we manage, or when we manage, to get Hyperloop developed and demonstrated operational within this decade, that means that many of the projects that are being planned right now could actually use Hyperloop from the moment that it has been demonstrated. So the main question is, take Hyperloop into account as one of the tools in your toolbox, right? As a transport modality for any of the transport challenges that we have, and give it a fair comparison between the other modalities. Yeah.
Thank you, Mars. Kasia, what is your wish to the train operators? And what is the difference? Because we also have executives here and professionals and also others, they want to have much more background about what you are doing. What is the difference between a MacRail and a Hyperloop? And do you want to go? Is it only a strategy that you start with a MacRail and then you jump to put a MacRail technology into a vacuum pot? And afterwards, the second question is, what is your wish to the train operators from your perspective?
So as Przemek said before, we are developing the hybrid kind of solution between the conventional railways and the Hyperloop. So the ultimate goal is to develop the Hyperloop system itself. But as everybody here already said, it would take a lot of time, and the innovation in the railways and all the problems that they are right now having have to be solved a little bit earlier than in 30 years. So our goal is to start with the mag rail solution, then check 2 of 3 of the main Hyperloop components. This is linear motor and levitation. The third one is a vacuum tube. So we took this part off because this is also the most complicated element. But it also, for us, it's very important to use the existing infrastructure. So basically, while using existing infrastructure, we can shorten the time to market and make it also in a cheaper way because we are upgrading the existing system already. So the wish for the railway companies, as you said, I think that we are already cooperating with some here in Europe, and we have also a lot of interest from the Middle East. So I think that this cooperation should be tightened, and we could go further, because also to bring such an innovation to the existing system is also not an easy thing to do. So the whole experience that the railways have we'll also need to use right now and implement it to our design.
Thank you, Kasia. Luis, from your perspective, you have here a pod demonstrator. I saw on your pictures and on LinkedIn that there's a lot of attention that people are coming over and jump into your pod and say, wow, this is quite futuristic. On which step you are right now, what you are developing, where you are, and what is your next step?
We have been devoted during the last 5 years to work especially on technology. So we are tech guys unlocking the main technologies that are needed to deploy the Hyperloop. Recently, we have also, in our strategy has been always very clear that to incorporate corporations and industrial players that can support us in the technology development is important. Recently, actually, we have announced that ITP, formerly part of Rolls-Royce, they have invested last week, actually, will help us to develop the motor system, the onboard motor system, especially the fan. So we have been devoted to that, and we have a clear vision on this go-to-market. What are the needs in terms of technology, in terms of safety and certifiability for Hyperloop to become a reality. Our obsession is that there are certain issues, we can say, or limitations for the vacuum system for mass transportation, and this is why we have, we can say, a bet that is, we believe that is, in the end, will be compatible with, we can say, the rest of the ecosystem. So, again, we have been especially focused on the technology, and of course, in parallel, working with rail operators from all over the world. We are now participating in, in the first tenders that almost all of us, we know, for instance, in Italy, 800 million tender is quite amazing. In India, in the Emirates as well, in Saudi. So it's really exciting, to understand from our position, to see the excitement from the market, and basically the rail operators that we believe that the delta cost that they have compared to other players, such as airlines, for instance, is lower if they want to go for Hyperloop, because they understand the operation and it's an infrastructure, transport infrastructure operation, a guided transport operation. I do believe that what we need to create now, and this is, so we are on that also, we need to create the excitement, of this group of crazy, brave guys within rail operators. Maybe some of them, they are here, that they are crazy enough, not just to do the internal sale, but also to be attracted by these maybe overseas opportunities, and to say, hey, okay, if we are the rail operator here in France, in Spain, in Germany, in the Netherlands, maybe the first Hyperloop, we should build it, but maybe it will be located in Saudi Arabia, and then we need technology, and in the end we have like large consortiums that in Europe we are very used to, but we can go outside, and we can get others' money and the risk, the project as a whole, for these first prototypes. So I see that that we need this alignment, and we are working on that. And this is why we released the vision. And probably in Europe, we will be leading from the certification. We will be leading for unlocking the technology. But why not? Maybe we need to cover the rest of the world with Hyperloop, and suddenly start getting over and coping with Europe.
Thanks for that. Yeah. Leonardo, you're from DJ Move, the European Commission. How do you support the Hyperloop ecosystem and especially the Hyperloop startups right now?
Thank you for your question. Maybe first question should be why we support it. And the reason is that we see a potential for Hyperloop to solve all the issues related to sustainability, climate change, which have been mentioned before, and also at the same time a potential for to be a driver for economic growth, because we see a strong European base, even for companies which are not, let's say, strictly European. There is still a European base and an interest to work in Europe and to develop the sector in Europe. This is the why. In terms of the how, we try to support the sector by creating a regulatory framework, a basic one in the beginning, based on some, mainly on safety and security as a starting point, to give also guidance to the sector on how to develop a future European Hyperloop network. This is the way we are trying to do. Of course, we also do it in cooperation with Europe's Rail JU, so this also covers all the points related to research and innovation. And the two things are strongly related one to the other, because creating a regulatory network should be also based on a regulatory framework, should be also based on, let's say, very, very concrete and solid figures. And in this respect, the work of the Europe's Rail JU is quite helpful, because they want to build a roadmap for the industrialization, and that's exactly what we need. If I may, just one last point. If I take one of the points made by the CEO of Hyperloop TT, he said that sometimes he has to listen to professors of nothing. I think this was the expression he used. We are looking exactly for the opposite. We are looking for very concrete figures, very solid figures to support us in creating the regulatory framework. Thank you.
Thank you. So, in that futuristic game, Dieter, we are both employees of Deutsche Bahn. We created also a Hyperloop Arbeitsgemeinschaft AG. People asked, you are Aktiengesellschaft, but it's only a working group. We said in the east of Germany, Arbeitsgemeinschaft, working group. And we tried over the years right now to give a massage to every core branch from Deutsche Bahn, like DB Netz, like DB Schenker, like DB Instandhaltung, DB Fernverkehr, Cargo, everybody. But Dieter, what we can do is that we could be part and have a stake or a cake in Hyperloop ecosystem. We are supporting it, but it's always about business and futuristic stuff, but what we can do for next step to sign something.
I think, well, first of all, I have to come a bit forward because this is blinding and getting me completely blinded if I stand back there. So if you guys also want to move up, no, you're not blinded. Anyhow, so probably it has something to do with my size. Sorry about that. Yeah, so regarding the working group, as Martin said, we do involve all the different companies. It's actually companies of DB to participate, to get acquainted with the know-how, and to also understand about the benefits. And what is the major benefit that we can bring to the table? Well, we're an operator. We're the biggest operator in Europe. And while we have the biggest problems at the same time at this moment. And believe me, if we can do something, is we can bring operations know-how to the table. And we have analyzed in depth also what would be needed in terms of operations for a Hyperloop system in order to, well, on one hand, make it profitable, but also generate a relative fast return. Now, back to your question, what has to happen so that we involve? I think we all need what is called the proof of concept. And this proof of concept will change everything. Why will it? Because in the end, with the proof of concept, investors will receive this kind of security network that, it's safe to invest. And once they look at the business case, they will be able to realize that the case is so good that it will attract all kinds of private money. And so in that sense, the Italian project or the others, whatever comes first will prove this concept. And with the proof of concept, hopefully then we'll also be able to be on it. And not only to be on it, at the moment we're talking to all of the developers and trying to support with operations know-how. But in the end, once the proof of concept is there, I'm afraid the avalanche of projects will then follow immediately after.
Thank you, Dieter. So, yeah, time is running so fast, and we have a tough agenda for the day. Kasia, what is your biggest challenge right now you are working on at Nevomo, and what will be a next step you are going on, like a Leuchtturm-Projekt?
So, of course, developing the system from the technical side is also a challenge for us. I must honestly say that the COVID pandemic and the war really hit, I think, that not only us, but also the big companies. So the logistics processes were not going the way as they should be. I hope that this will come to the end soon and it will get better. So we can also propel the development of our system. And as Przemek said, we're still waiting for one component, and then we are starting testing in Nowa Sarzyna. This is actually 100 kilometers away from the Ukrainian border, so you can imagine how it was at the beginning of the war for us and for our team to work there. But we can also, because right now winter is coming and we have also a lot of questions like, oh, what will you do because the winter is coming? Can you test when the snow is there? Yes, we can. The whole track, which is actually placed on the existing infrastructure, is covered, so we can also test independently weather conditions. And after the tests will be finished in Nowa Sarzyna, then we'll start another cooperation, another test facility in Italy. And this will also get us closer to the homologation process of the whole system. So this is our path to go within the next couple of years.
Crazy. Tough agenda. Respect. Chapeau. Really. Okay, I will go to rehabilitation for the next 3 weeks.
I just one second, sorry, Martin. We are here with our booth and with our prototype, with also one section of the infrastructure. So all of you are also welcome to come. This is in hall 4.2. There is always time for marketing, right? So, and then our representatives are there and they can explain it to you actually how it works.
Yes, we have, as part of the agenda, tough agenda, efficiently, we implemented the part Hyperloop Safari, Hyperloop demonstrator show. So at 3 p.m. we will go to your hall 4.2. Then you will see the demonstrator of Nevomo, the demonstrator of Zeleros, and the demonstrator of Hardt Hyperloop. But look in their faces, they will take your hands and you go together. It's only a 1 hour walk from hall to hall. But yeah, it's also great to have longer legs. I do it. But yeah. But it's a challenge to find it. That's why look into the faces, how they look like, and you go together. Yeah, we did the same in the kindergarten, you know, when I was a young child, 6 years old, when my mom came. Yeah. So next part, what is your... Yeah, it's the last question of everybody. We make it short, Kathleen, for sure, for sure. Good symbiose. Luis, where you will build up your first commercialization track or route in Europe or overseas? Short answer, please.
It depends on the one who pays. So the ones who shows the money first, we will be there. That's what I can say.
Okay, okay. Really short question. Thank you. And answer. It is, what is the next? You invested in Hardt Hyperloop.
Yes.
You are working on what right now? What is the next step you are going forward?
Well, actually, we're going to discuss with Hardt the pre-feasibility study that is currently going on and see what we can bring to the table there. And I think that's the focus right now we have. Of course, we are still looking on part on the operational concept with one of the co-members of Hardt. And this is exactly as you mentioned with the operational expertise we have. This is where we can help the most.
Okay, great. Also a lot
Thank
of
you.
work on both hands. Fabien, at SNCF, you said you had a lot of feasibility studies on the topic Hyperloop. You're working closer with Virgin Hyperloop. What is the next step you are going on for the next months?
So at the moment, we are also working with Nevomo, as I already said, about this migration technology, how to use the linear engine as a booster for conventional railways maybe to increase capacity of current line, but also maybe for low traffic lines, how to use them for specific modules to have or another disruptive train. So that's one part, and the other part of my job or my mission for the Hyperloop topic is to try to be involved in the standardization process at European level. So I think it's Zeleros who show the structure of the technical committee, the new technical committee of SNCF, and I'm part of it as a working group convener, and I try to work with all the promoters to go towards an homogeneous way of defining and describing the structure of Hyperloop.
Also a lot of work. Dieter, let us try to give everybody in Deutsche Bahn a massage that we will part in the Hyperloop ecosystem, please. I know you are fighting also a lot for that vision, but let us do it again and again and again.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Leonardo, Giovanni, how you will support the Hyperloop startups with standardization or with regulation? Is it a job you can go in the main position?
Well, for the regulatory side, absolutely yes. This is our objective, to support the sector on creating a regulatory framework. And we hear more and more, let's say, requests for support from the sector. But here I should be clear that we need your support as well, support from the sector. As I said before, because we need strong evidence on what needs to be done and what Hyperloop can deliver in the future. So here, let's say the support should be mutual from the regulatory side. And then for the rest, as also a part of the European Commission, don't forget also the research and innovation part, where Europe's Rail is doing a great job also in trying to put everyone together towards future convergence of the system, which has been mentioned from time to time before as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Mars? I will give you the power bank later. I think it's a long step in the future that the dream can come true. But what is your next step you're working on and what you will be?
So the European Hyperloop Center in Groningen, we're building it as we speak. I think that's the most important piece of proof that will be coming up for the next year.
Wow.
But at the same time, we're very active now in a lot of different places to find that 3 to 5 kilometer route connecting a city center to an airport, a city center to a new neighborhood. Just something short where you can just show that it works. And for us, it's not necessarily about finding that one client who pays for it first, but more finding a group of local parties who believe in it and want to work with us to make it happen as fast as possible. Yeah. And I really believe that at that moment you will pull a lot of investment from the whole ecosystem into it to make it happen.
Thanks for your time and for an efficient discussion round. And looking forward to see you later also, not on stage, but in the networking session. And thanks for your time. And yeah, we will support you. We do what we can. I think everybody of you also, and it's just the beginning what we are doing here, you know. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you to everybody. Fantastic.